Hey TJ, how's it going? My name's Michael. Forgoes asked me to shoot over a quick walkthrough audit of your website. So far, great website. Just a few things that I think might help you in the long run. So we'll go over to Google's tool here, PageSpeed Insights. Kind of middle of the roads performance overall. This is specifically for mobile. With a lot of these, reduce unused CSS, things like that, reduce JavaScript execution time. These are things that will help your overall website speed up and perform a little bit better. A lot of times, these are just simply, just reducing the code size, things like that you have on your website. Very easily done. There's even certain plugins that you can take to do some of this, and it should speed up your site pretty significantly. The one thing I did want to call out here, though, is on some of the accessibility stuff. So basically, the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, is something that every website has to follow. Coincidentally, it also affects search engine optimization and how Google views your site. Not having alt text on images and, contrast ratios, things like these errors right here on a website could potentially make you liable for violating ADA. And there are people that go around and, sue website owners and things like that. So this is always the first thing that I like to call out and make sure getting this fixed is probably a top priority. So with this site, it looks like traffic is increasing. There's been a lot of promotion lately. See, you're doing some advertising on Google and probably a few other areas. Although traffic is increasing, we are seeing keywords kind of decrease over time. The only issue with this is that after promotion, if you ever slow down on promotions or, one promotion doesn't work as well as another, then your website traffic overall will start to reduce to the mean, which is basically kind of where the keywords are at. And so as you stop promotion, things will start to kind of go down for you. That's what this is telling me. The authority score, this is basically how Google sees your website. It's on the lower end. Basically, Google doesn't have a lot of trust in the site right now. It isn't that old of a site. So typically, newer sites have smaller authority scores. A way to increase this is by increasing content, getting more people to the site, having more other websites basically link to your site and increase these backlinks. Those are great ways to increase your website authority. As we go down and we're looking at the keywords that you're ranking for, everything looks, not too bad. These are probably all the things that you're wanting to rank for. They're in the people also ask section of Google, which is great. Your first name with supplements ranking number 1. Obviously, that's fantastic. So overall, not too bad. There's a lot of branded stuff in here, so just keeping in mind expanding the non-branded terms is always a plus. A few other things, and I apologize, I'm going to get a little technical and nerdy on this end, but this is just the type of guy and where my mind goes with a lot of this stuff. When I'm looking at things like your page titles, meta descriptions, just a few things to call out. Some are over 60 characters, or some meta descriptions. You have some duplicate ones in here, or some ones that are too long. Basically, what all this means is that it doesn't show up correctly on Google, so certain things could get cut off. Or in the case of duplicates, Google is not really sure what the page is about. Or you have multiple pages that are presenting that to Google and to other users that have similar, as you can see right here, just similar wording and descriptions, and it could create some confusion and might make people either not click on a link that they see, or with, in Google's case, be a little confused on what your website's about. As we move down, we see these H1, H2 tags. These are the tags on your website, just kind of like the overall page titles. So I can show you what that looks like. So I'm not really sure what the H1 tag is here, but it's basically like what is the page about. So let's like to a product page. Grass-fed whey protein is probably your H1 in this instance. This is what is this page about. This is telling Google what the page is about, and that's why these types of tags are so important. But I think, as we go to the images, there's a lot of images that are over that 100 kilobyte range. This is just a general benchmark to make sure that your site is moving as fast and as efficient as possible. This is that missing alt text section that I was kind of telling you about. This is for people with screen readers that can't necessarily see the images. This is to help with that. So I can go through a long list of different things, but that's a general outline of some of the things that we're seeing. As you start to speed up your site and increase your user experience, there's a lot of give and take on websites, so certain movable elements that we can see here, with the videos and kind of the moving graphics here, all stuff to just take into consideration. What can you, what can't you live without, and what things can you live without, just to increase performance. So hopefully this was helpful, and appreciate you watching the video.